Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 3808 Northeast 135th Avenue here in Portland. Located to the right of the front door. We're very near the front right corner of the house. We're approximately about 5 feet in from the front right corner of the home here. And the window furthest to the right of the front doorway lines up perfectly in the middle with it, should you lose track of the cleanout. So anyway, we're dropping into a 4-inch cast iron cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. We're going to zero out the foot counter. Clean some cobwebs off here. And we'll zero out at the base of the access point. All right, into the belly of the beast we go. Yeah, we're either going from, not that this cast iron's looking bad, but this cast iron, this actually might be 4-inch clay pipe. There's a very short span of time where they did 4-inch clay with fern coat pipe joints. I want to say it was right around the 70s. It was a very short-lived thing. It's tricky to tell the difference sometimes between the two because cast iron and clay both have that red rusty color to them. This is almost looking like 4-inch clay pipe. It doesn't, what the difference is, clay remains smooth. Clay is kind of an amazing pipe product. It gets kind of a bad rap sometimes. Its weak point, typically speaking, and generally when you're talking about clay, we're talking about 6-inch clay pipe with grouted joints. It's the grout that usually fails and opens the joints up. Otherwise, clay itself, I mean, the material itself will last for thousands of years. As long as nothing shocks it or hits it to fracture it, the material itself has an almost infinite wear life on it, because it's essentially glass. And that's what this is looking like here. Now, the beauty of 4-inch clay is you get that clay pipe material, but you have the advantage of having much more robust pipe joints because they have a rubber gasket material out them. That's what that looks like there. Now we're going to do concrete pipe. Just hit the main there at about 76 feet. We're going to go locate that really quick here while the pipe drains off, and then we'll pull back and take a better look. Alrighty, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates out on Northeast 135th, right into the manhole. About every 3 to 5 houses as you go down the street will hook right into the manhole. The rest of them will just tee onto the main. It's actually a really, really nice advantage for looking down the road. If this is going to be like a forever home, you're in for a while, it behooves you to keep an eye on these older lines like this. Typically speaking, we're looking at, usually when you're looking at clay pipe, you're usually looking at joints that are grouted, like I was saying before. But the joints in general are usually the weakest point in any sewer line material, especially older materials. You want to re-scope periodically, maybe every few years. 2, 3, in the condition this is in so far here, I would probably do it maybe every 2 to 3. That's just to watch for if the joints ever become exposed to the ground. For instance, you can see this joint right here. This is in city territory right now, and I'm going to locate at the concrete transition to see if any of it's on property. That joint right there, though, you can see how it's dark and stained. That's evidence of groundwater seepage, as well as probably dirt pulling through it too. That's the kind of stuff that can lead to hydro erosion over time. The joints, not in every case. That right there is dirt sticking out of the joint. Sometimes it causes hydro erosion, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what the line's bedded in. But the joints can start sucking dirt and groundwater through them, and it can hydro erode the support out from underneath the sewer line and cause progressive settling to occur. So what I'm getting at here is if you want to take advantage of these newer trenchless, like a trenchless epoxy liner, for instance, or a spray-in-place lining, which is a newer thing on the scene now, you got to catch your line before it completely wears out and settles. So this joint right here has got a little bit of something sticking out of it. See if I can get my camera to fling up into that or not. You also can get grout protrusions too. It's not always dirt. The stuff up further has a little bit different appearance to it. It's a little darker, wetter looking. That right there may actually be grout. It's very hard to say. I'm gonna go locate right here. But anyway, just from that standpoint, for taking advantage of a trenchless repair system, this is a beautiful setup for it because of the diameter of the line and the fact that it ties right into a manhole. You have the very, very nice makings for doing a liner at some point down the road, if you're here to see that process take place, actually. But anyway, we're gonna go locate, see where we are here. All right, so in this case here, the transition takes place. It's kind of a tricky spot to locate because I'm up underneath a bush. Just at the front left corner, or sorry, front right corner of the driveway. That's as you face the house from the street. You've got a little red maple. The transition is right there underneath that, about where the sidewalk edge begins. Okay, so right here we're sitting right at the face of the curb. And in Multnomah County, face of the curb is where the city takes responsibility for the sewer line. That joint there also has a little bit of substance protruding out from it. It is likely dirt. It might be grout. Sometimes it can be hard to say. You know, some of these joints here, for instance, you got some stuff protruding through them. Unlike the joints out, that one joint there I pointed out towards the end of the sewer line, that had some protrusion coming off it. That one there too. Again, little stuff sticking out of the joint. What I'm not seeing though, like I did further out, is a dark moisture ring. When they grout these joints, sometimes some of the grout squeezes through the joint and hardens in place. When I get a combination of both what looks like it could be dirt as well as a undoubtedly moisture seeping through it, that's what tells you the joint is exposed to the ground. This stuff here may very well just be pipe grout. In fact, what we're looking at right there is so thin, I don't know how dirt could support itself in that shape right there. That looks a little more like grout more like grout to me than it does dirt. There's no grade loss here, no settling that's taken place, and I don't see an obvious moisturing. The other thing I'm not seeing in the line here is earthworms crawling around. I try to look for secondary signs to help clue you into whether or not it's dirt or pipe grout, because it can be very difficult to discern. That's why, when you see a dark moisture ring, it makes it bonehead obvious it's water seeping through. And that tells you the joint's exposed. These ones here are looking more like pipe grout just pushing through the joint, which, happened during the line's inception when it was first built. All right, just did some locates there just to see where this is at here, mostly for future reference. As the line sits currently, being that we don't have any obvious exposure to the ground there, what we're looking at protruding off the joints to me looks more like pipe grout. I've done almost 25,000 sewer scopes at this point in my career. I like to see stuff that tells you it's open to the ground. It's very normal to see grout push through a joint. So unless I've got secondary signs that tell us it's indeed open to the ground, like moisture, stains, roots, earthworms crawling in and out of the pipe joint, things like that, it's not a scenario where I jump to repairs on it. But I do recommend rescoping periodically. I'm getting quite a depth there. I'm getting somewhere around 9 to 10 feet deep. This thing dives like crazy. You can see how hard we're diving right there. Just sheer drop. And part of that's because you're on a street that these older homes often have basements in them, and they have to have very deep main laterals to accommodate those lines. So anyway, the line has great flow through it. No shifting has taken place. That's the other sign I look for, is whether or not the line is settling. When joints open up at these older lines like that, hydro erosion generally takes place, and you will usually see the line settling. You'll get offset joints, standing water, things of that nature. So as it sits right now, flow is great to the line. It is a superbly clean sewer line on top of that. I just recommend rescoping about every 2 years to monitor that. And in that manner, you can take advantage of a trenchless liner. The last thing I want to see anyone do is dig 9 or 10 feet deep when there's no reason to do so. We have great flow all the way to the main lateral connection. All the pipe here on property, all of it appears to be intact and in good condition for its age. You'll see some paint markings out there. I was just preemptively painting those before I had really started to take a close look at everything. But you can kind of see where the line runs across the into the roadway over there. So you can eyeball where the line's routed. But very, very nicely functioning sewer line. That's about as good as a old original sewer line can possibly look right there. Looks amazing. And if this were your more standard pipe materials, your normal 6-inch concrete or 6-inch clay pipe, this is one of those yards that would definitely put a line to its test because of all the foliage that's in it. It's amazing to see a line this age without anything going on at the joints, no root intrusions or anything. Now, the sewer line is functioning properly at this time. Just make sure you rescope periodically to keep an eye on things so you can take advantage of that type of repair process down the road. It's an extremely deep sewer line, not one you want to have to dig up. That will save a lot of money when it comes time to do an update on it. And it looks like 4-inch pipe end to end here. Kind of a unique thing. Normally you get 6-inch pipe on these older lines like this, but it's all 4-inch. I'm actually a fan of that. 6-inch pipe there's a lot of room in it. 4-inch pipe keeps water velocity up, but it's also a good diameter pipe to help mitigate the chances of blockages. So, best of both worlds here.